University of Alberta is working with elders, educators, and community members from Piikani First Nation in southern Alberta to develop appropriate forms of digital literacy teaching and learning. This is the goal of Piikani Cultural and Digital Literacy Camp program. For the past 3 years, Elder Herman Manyguns from Piikani First Nation and Dr. Rob McMahon, Associate Professor at the University of Alberta's Faculty of Education, have been working with Peigan Board of Education and Piikani Nation Secondary School to combine Blackfoot culture with digital skills. The program teaches younger generations about their culture and uses technology to preserve their knowledge and history using the digital literacy skills they learn at the camp. Through classroom teaching, University of Alberta graduate students cover topics like media representation, digital stewardship, critical thinking, and filming fundamentals. They also teach high school students how to use tools like video cameras and audio recorders. This video tells the story of our third camp, which was held in Brockett, Alberta in July 2019.
I put the tobacco down this morning for the gift for today. I put that tobacco down because today I get to live as well as my family. I put the tobacco on the south for the gifts, the roots, the grass that formulates into a lot of things we eat. And I put the grass on the west. Custom is like a manual. There's a warning. We don't know the next phone call. Those are the storms we get ready for. So that is preparation in my journey for today.
So, but as we carry on into the future, the recordings of the people that are qualified in their culture and their ceremony, that we're still being connected from the past, is to record that type of information so you could store it for the near future. Because in lifetime, like Peter said, we're going to get old down the road. So the things that you guys record today, we might not be around anymore, but those recordings will tell a story of what happened, of our ancestors, that those things are passed on from generation to generation. But at the same time, you're learning about modern equipment, technology, to help change, to record, to video, to do all these special things. Because on that side of the world, in the modern world today, education, technology is the future of the younger generation. So there's a lot of things that are going to have in positive. We have our workers here, our support workers here, and Heather. We're going to be working with Heather on the ladies' side. Okay, so there's a lot of exciting things that's going to be happening in these couple days, and we're hoping today we're putting the sweat lodge together. So for the benefit of everything, like what Peter said, don't take things for granted. Because pray for yourselves individually when we're going to go into this sweat. For your parents, for your family, your loved ones, your people, everybody that's in your life. We're building it for Creator, this lodge. It's for Him. We're making a vow to Him. So all the goodness, what we're asking for, will happen for us. Because today it's a world that we have to make those changes. And the young people, it's your guys' future. It's your guys' tomorrow, how you see things in the future. taamikistiko gitqanaaksimmatsim puaawakaakan kaksistikuik okitsi tama isapqtumuaisipäätapiu aqtqanaasuksipäätapiu se okikani noqanistumuoopik aanksi piu tui omqkassksimanaatakiiks Tahitaistamatsuk kiawakaaknitqtaissitapiupi musik ustua utqtaissitapi taassinakiupik sookistaatsimikiupik okikanqaksissikuikak ikuutatamapiuakaak kinorqanistpua kiarkitsinaapsua kiartsistapääsuksipäätapiissuavakaakissortik itaapqanu'tutapaapiaamutskay maanipäätapi'is okijarquni suauakaak kipäätapi'sua kitqtuutsitapi'spua kasait akatapspiuaapakaakani kinaapipäätapi'is okijartsuksissitapius okiwakaak aamutskay taajarkiminnukiwakaakanakumqkitapiu arkaayikaa'kimus orqaatuumqtuusiaatsumukik taassuksipäätapiu kaniliitsi kinikinorqanistaapa ajarkiminnerpuaawakaakanaksistikui what I just talked about in our language is that I know we don't have very many fluent speakers that understand the language. So our old people, our ancestors, they had a way of teaching. They had a way of talking to people so people would understand. And one of the practices that was given to us is to communicate with each other. And that's why our language is so important. That when we speak in our language, it's all about humbleness. It's all about positivity. It's always about encouragement to do things in life.
Why is the Blackfoot language so important to the culture?
The Blackfoot language is important to the culture for many reasons, but first and foremost, it trains you how to think. So, like Herman said, kindness and being non judgmental, and those things are knitted into the language already. And even how you construct the language, you have to think. So, every word, like if you put a word together, every little piece has a story behind it. So, yeah, that's why I think the Blackfoot language is very important.
What do you think the difference between Blackfoot culture and Cree culture?
Blackfoot culture and Cree culture, I don't know much about Cree culture, so I don't think I could say much about that. But all I could say in terms of the difference was probably where we live and the area that we traditionally inhabited. So for the Blackfoots, from the Rocky Mountains to the South Saskatchewan River to the Cypress Hills and all the way down to Yellowstone National Park, that was all of our Blackfoot territory. So all of our language, ways of surviving on the land come from all those elements within that territory. And then the Cree territory, I'm not well educated on that, but I suppose it comes from the land that they inhabit. So the language is different, and how they practice their ways of survival are different too.
Why is it important to know your culture? To know and understand?
To know and understand your culture, I really honestly believe, um, if you don't think if you don't think it's important, then I think that that's your right to say it's not important to my life. But what I do think the culture is important to is for survival, and it's a good life, and it's a happy life, and it's it. I I mean, it's just a good life is all I could say. And I don't know any different because I always grew up in the culture. So I don't know what the other life is like. But sometimes I have a hard time connecting with people who don't understand the culture because they have understandings of their life in the world that I don't understand, and vice versa. So, but it's good because when we talk, we learn from each other, and I really value those lessons from people. So, everybody we meet has a important lesson for us in our life. Like I said, your environment, which includes people, situations, whether it be good or bad, there's all hidden gifts in there for you to survive and have a good life. And that's our needs to be way of looking at life in a kind and gentle way. And so when bad things happen to you, of course, you have to deal with the initial shock of it. But in the end, when you look at it as a survival, you survive through this. How are you going to use it to help you in the future if you ever have another challenge? So that's really the traditional way how I was raised, culture way of looking at life.
What's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory? I've got a lot of memories, but what do you like in context to what?
Um,
Like living here?
yeah.
My favorite memory of growing up here in Piikani was my 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 folks lived in a 3-room house, and we didn't have any running water, and we didn't have an inside washroom. And so there was my brother, my sister, and I in a small room, and my mom and dad in the other room. So it was 3 rooms, the house. And it was a hard living because we had like to pump our water, and we had to go out in an outhouse during the day. But my favorite memories, because our house was so small, we spent all the time outdoors, even during the winter time. So living out in the prairie with the land, plants, and animals, I really felt like they were alive and they were also my friends as well. So I had a huge upbringing just living out on the land when I was younger, and that's my favorite memory.
My name is Herman Many Guns. My Blackfoot name is sitting behind Eagle Tail, and how you say sitting behind Eagle Tail in Blackfoot is Suat Si Tapito.
How long have you been ceremonial for?
Well, going back to 1977, I grew up around the ceremonies. I grew up with the old people, but to actually be starting the ceremonies, started out with the Brave Dog Society in 1977.
What do you want to see in our community?
Well, what I would like to see in our community is that I have so much heart for the younger generation. As a Sundance person, and when you become a Sundance person, everyone in the community becomes your children, and you have to look after your children. So for the young people, that's my focus today, is to make our young people be successful in life. Because there are too many times I had to go to the graveyard and bury our young people. And those young people don't deserve to be in that graveyard. So, and that's why I advocate for our young people as much as I can, especially through our culture, to help them to promote our ways and to try to preserve and retain our way of life into the